Hi everyone, I hope that you've been enjoying lesson 9 so far. I certainly have been, as I've gotten to go over your persuasive essay outlines. I love seeing the structure and the development that's taking place as you go through the writing process. So great work so far, but I do have a couple of notes that will help you improve before your final draft. The biggest thing I've been noticing is a little bit of trouble with thesis statements. So I've gone ahead and compiled a few resources and helpful hints to make sure that you're getting the strongest thesis possible and a good basis for your paper. To start off, let's talk about what a thesis is. A thesis statement, as you know from past announcements in our studies, should appear at the end of your introductory paragraph and kind of set the focus for your paper. It should include a claim and then the reason that that claim is correct. Now, think of it kind of like a one-sentence summary of the argument for your paper. And if you're wondering how exactly to do that, here's a helpful formula that will make sure you're on the right track. So your thesis should be a combination of a topic, an opinion, and the why or how. I have a few examples here that I want to go over with you, so let's take the first one real slow and identify the different parts. As the rate of teen suicide, our topic, grows, more preventative measures should be taken in order to save lives. There's our opinion. By educating teens and families about signs of risk and treatment options. So, as you see, this thesis statement has all three elements that we need. And then the next question we need to ask ourselves is this arguable? We want to make sure there's a different side to this, something that we can refute later in our paper. So in this case, someone might say, well, yes, teen suicide is a problem, and we should have preventative measures, but educating teens and families isn't the way to do this. We need to make sure that teens and children are getting regular psychiatric evaluations, so we should implement that in public school programs. There may be another way, something that people think would be better, and that's good. We want to have some opposition to our argument. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next example. In Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte shows that even the deepest forms of love can be corrupted and disfigured by selfishness. So right here, again, we have that topic, the opinion, and the why or how. Now this last example is a little bit closer to the type of thesis statement you may find yourself writing for the persuasive essay. So let's go ahead and go over it together as well. Because many children and people considered at risk due to age and health complications are unable to be vaccinated, it is important that all those who are able to be vaccinated are, in order to improve herd immunity. So once again, you're seeing all three of those elements, and you're talking about something that's a little bit controversial. Some people may not agree with vaccines at all, or they may think that herd immunity is a myth and that it doesn't really protect those who are at risk. There are lots of ways for you to rebut opposition to this argument, so that's good. Now, I highly recommend that you go over your thesis statement before your final draft and before you get much further in the writing process, and make sure that you are seeing all three of these elements in your thesis. If you are, but you're still wondering, is this specific enough? Is this strong enough? Well, I have some helps for that as well. How to know if your thesis is strong? Well, following the formula we just went over is a great start. This should give you the perfect structure for your thesis statement, but there are a couple of questions you can ask yourself as well to make sure that your thesis is as strong as possible. So first, have I taken a position others might disagree with? We talked about this a little bit. Your claim needs to be arguable. If you're stating fact more than really making a claim, then there's no real grounds for argument, and you'll need to do a little bit of revising. Next, is my thesis specific enough? The more specific, the better in this case. It isn't enough to say that we should do something or that a certain practice is good. You need to give the why or the how. And finally, is my thesis clear? Your thesis statement is possibly the most important sentence in your entire paper, so you should be spending a little bit more time on it. You want to make sure that it is error-free with punctuation, grammar, word choice, spelling, all of that. You want to make sure that your reader can understand this at first glance, that there's no room for misunderstanding, and that you are being clear and specific and giving a clear direction for your paper and the direction it's going to be going. So, if you're doing all of these things, you will have a strong thesis statement. I truly believe that you're off to a good start and that this will help you. But you may be finding yourself wondering at this point, why is a thesis so important? Why do we have to spend so much time on something that's just going to be part of some of our papers? Well, a thesis is more than just something that's part of your papers. It's a way of thinking and defending yourself, sorting out your views and opinions. And briefly, I want to talk about mission statements. So, a mission statement is kind of how you portray yourself and your goals to the world. What do you believe? What do you stand for? And what do you aim to accomplish? Companies use this, churches use this, and individuals even use this. Our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, actually published a mission statement of sorts in 1981. It was introduced by President Kimball, and it was a threefold mission statement. You might be familiar with this, but if not, to recap, our threefold mission statement is to proclaim the gospel, perfect the saints, and redeem the dead. That is what our church has published as their official mission statement and their reason and the things that they believe in most. So all of this work that you're putting into crafting a thesis statement can help to support you and your beliefs and your claims and views as well. Just as you need to defend your views in this paper, eventually you'll find yourself having to defend your views to those around you, especially in the current social and political climate. As you know, this can be a little bit difficult, but if you know who you are, what you believe, and what you are here to accomplish, your job becomes a lot easier. So my challenge to you for this week is to take a moment to journal your personal mission statement this week. Now, this doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a huge, in-depth mission statement. Just take a moment to, in a journal, in a Word file if you don't have a journal, just somewhere, take a few moments to sit down and think about what you believe, what you stand for, and what you aim to accomplish in this life. The better you know those questions, the better able you will be to handle any of the questions and opposition that will come your way. I hope that this will be a helpful exercise to you, and I hope that you're getting a better idea of what your thesis statement needs to look like now. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to work with you on any of this, and I wish you the best of luck with your papers, and I look forward to seeing the finished outcome. Have a great week.